Hello guys, how are you? I hope you are great. Today we are going to continue talking about directions, locations, places in your community. Just to make this one as a reference, when we talk about community, we refer to a city or to a town or to a village. For example, Chiquimula is a city. Agua Blanca, Ipala, San Luis are a town, or we can say community. So when we talk about community, we are talking either a city or either a town, so no problem about that. And today we are going to learn new ways to talk about the places in our places, and just let's continue. We have there is. We use there is when we are going to talk about something that is singular. I mean, only one person or only one object. And is an affirmative, is a positive sentence. So I have this example. You can see in my community there is a school, only one. That is it. Another option is another example. It is in my community there is a hospital. So you can see there is only one. And you also have another example. In my community there is a stadium. You can see only one. And what about this example? What do you consider the correct answer? Of course, that is in my community there is a church. That's it. We have also there are, and when we are talking about there are we talking about singular or plural? Of course, that is plural. 2, 3, 4, 5, 100. That is many people or many places or objects or animals. In this class, we are going to concentrate in places. And that is an affirmative sentence too. You can see this example. So there is one, there is two. In my community, there are two schools. You know, schools. You need an S to be a plural. We have another example. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4. In my community, there are 4 churches. Why is churches and not church? Because of the sound. When we have ch, like church, is not correct to say church. That doesn't sound great. So we add an e, and you say there are 4 churches, and it is much better. And we have another example here that it is okay. In my community, there are how many stadiums? Well, we have 1, 2, 3 stadiums. So say in my community there are 3 stadiums. Let's see another one. How many hospitals are there in your community? Of course, in my community there are 2 hospitals. Great. And the last part that I want to show you here is about a negative. We can say there are not to refer something that is plural and doesn't exist in your community. An example is, this is real. I live in Ipala, and in Ipala there are not cinemas. In my community there are not cinemas. In my community there are not fire stations. This is not real, this is just an example. And the last part is about I want. When you say I want, is something that is just in your imagination, like a house or like a different thing that you have in your mind that you really want. I don't know, for example, I want vacations, or I want to sleep, or I want to have a new computer, or I want to go to the park, and you say I want when it's a desire, when it's something that is in your imagination but you really need. It's something that you say that it is for me. So I say I want. Let's make an example. I want a cinema in my community. I really want a cinema in my community. want a mall in my community, like Prategra. What do you think is the example here? Yes, I want a museum in my community. And yours refer that is something that is not in your community, but you want. And about that is the next activity. So for example here, let me check. Is there a restaurant in the community? Yes, there is one restaurant in the community. Is there a clothing store in your community? Yes, there is one clothing store in your community. Uh, is there a park in your community? Yes, there is a park in your community. Um, is there a fire station in your community? No, there are not fire stations in your community. Um, is there a cinema in your community? Yes, there is a cinema in your community. Um, is there a hardware store in your community? There are not hardware stores in your community. I want you to make this one. In my community there is. In my community there is not. And in my community I want. So I need you to make 5 examples. 5 there is, 5 there is not, and 5 I want. Make an example. In my community there is a church, there is a school, and there is a supermarket. In my community there is not a mall, there is not a museum, and there is not a flower shop. And in my community I want, well, in my community I want a stadium, I want a travel agency, I want a cinema, because I want to go to those places. This one is part of your homework. I need 5 examples of there is, 5 of there is not, and 5 of I want. Do you have to make a presentation? It's not necessary. Just take your phone and send a voice note by WhatsApp. How many? 5, 5, and 5. That's it. So continue with the class. I really miss you. Bye bye.